Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Personal Collection. We're having a first on the channel. It is the first time we're bringing on a soccer guest. We have Bryan here from Sunday League Investor, also in the Florida Card Show scene. How are you doing today, man?
Good, man. I'm really excited and very honored that I am the first soccer guy to come on this podcast. So,
Hey, you had to be first because I wouldn't have some of these vintage cards without you. So a few months ago, I think it was Wisdell's, and there's another card show. I saw some vintage soccer, ended up giving you a call, and you're like, all right, grab these guys. And I'm so glad I did. Like, this is Matthews, man. Love it. Because I have a
Stanley
Donald.
Matthews.
Yeah, this is a 35. I have the Donald Bradman in the set. I have the Hobbs cricket wise, but this thing's immaculate. And
What is that? What set is that? Because it's funny because I don't really know too much pre like in the 1930s type of set era, but I do know some spot names that you should know in in vintage soccer. So it was just funny that you picked all these guys up and these sets that you're picking up. I don't even know what these sets are.
yeah, so this is a popular personality set. It had like 50 of the biggest names in sports at the time in Europe. And they had a lot of cricketers in there between Hobbs and Bradman.
Okay.
But they also had a lot of soccer players. I think they had some actors and such as well. And they kind of have these oval designs. I'm gonna put them over here so you guys can see them a little
Very
better.
cool.
But these
Very
things
cool.
are super condition sensitive, and this thing is pretty mint.
It looks beautiful.
The only thing in the back is a little bit faded on there, but still,
Oh,
it's
interesting.
you can't pass that up. And this is a second year, I believe. I think his rookie's at 34. And then this was a Greaves. I know this is a second year because I think the rookie year has the backs upside down. So we're able to pick that
Oh,
up.
is that inverted?
It's a non-inverted, so it's a second
Ah,
year.
okay, so
But
59.
still,
Yeah.
it's like you're like definitely pick
Still
up the
sick.
Greaves. And I almost didn't pick this up at first because of the dot on there, and you're like, they all have it. And then
And I was so jealous. I was so jealous when you told me too. Like I was happy for you, but I'm also like, God, I wish I was there because I would have scooped it up too.
dude, I got so lucky because I was picking up this stuff and the guy goes, all right, just let you know, you pick up your stuff. This guy behind said he's gonna buy everything that you don't buy. So pick your
Poor
stuff
guy.
right now. And I was like, oh crap. And that's what I'm texting. I gotta buy some of this stuff, man. I'm not gonna see it. I mean, I still haven't seen much vintage soccer at shows. It's just so scarce.
Nope, nope. And you barely find vintage soccer card collectors, but when I do run into them, I get so amped up. Like it's scary how amped up I get because there's not many of them out there.
Yeah, and I can just imagine their collections too. I mean, before the recent price bump in the past few years, the stuff was cheap. Just buying it. There was a guy on Twitter at pre-war cards, and he had some 1896 Godfreys. I think that's how you pronounce it. There was a set, also some cricketers and soccer players. But man, he had like pristine condition from 1896. Amazing stuff.
I wonder if he was born at that time, but it's all good.
Few people in this community are, but I collect that stuff. Don't hate me, guys. But yeah, so I wanted to talk a little about your soccer PC. So first off, when did you really get into soccer cards? Why soccer, and kind of what your direction is on that PC right now?
Yeah, I actually got into the hobby probably 2.5 years ago. It's like I change it every day, but it's like within a 20, it was right before COVID, like 6 months before COVID happened. And when I first started, it was actually just basketball cards. Like I was just full onto basketball. I was into the Luca era, right, where his silver PSA nines were like $100, and I was really nervous about spending money on those and was trading a lot in basketball. Then I remember hearing Gary Vaynerchuk mention real quick on his live, like soccer cards are interesting. And for the 6 months, I didn't even know soccer cards even existed. I just thought it was basketball cards, football cards, American football, and baseball cards, right? Like that's the top three that I think about. But then I started looking into it, and this is during the Last Dance era, right? When we started hearing about Last Dance. And I was thinking about how Messi and Ronaldo rookies were super cheap at the time. Like I picked up a BGS 9 Mega Cracks Messi 2004
Oh,
for
wow.
$1,000. Yeah,
I
it
know,
was a
I know what
thousand
those,
dollars.
I know what those go for now. As I've seen some recent prices, so I was like,
Yep. Yeah, yeah. So that was the time I was living at, 2.5 years ago. So that's after COVID, right? So when COVID happened, the card market was kind of crazy, where people were very unsure. I think that was just everywhere, right? The economy was very unsure. But I actually made a leap of faith and said, you know what? During that time, the last dance that was coming through, I started realizing, wow, their soccer cards, they're so much more interesting to me because that's I'm obsessed with the sport, and then also it's a lot cheaper because during that time basketball was still blowing up, and I just was like, you know what, let's just go all in into soccer, and just been collecting ever since. And it started really, really ramping up when I started to go to card shows. I started meeting other people, going up, around everywhere, and I started realizing, man, this is something that's super interesting. And this is around the time I started Sunday League Investors. To first off, I was trying to be that guy. I thought there was a lot of misinformation about soccer cards, so I was like, let me be that guy to give the right information, right? Like I know soccer, I know cards. I've only been in the hobby for like a year, so I'm like trying to like I'm like super like I'm like really confident. And then over time I started realizing I really don't know much. Like because I'm learning so much about how soccer cards, the dynamics of soccer cards, stickers, what is a true rookie, what is like the iconic rookie. And it all of a sudden it started from becoming like a soccer expert-ish page to a soccer card journey page. And now ever since then, we've been building this community with just a bunch of like footy heads that want to collect soccer cards, and it has been amazing to this day.
So I'm gonna have a few questions based off of what you just
Yeah,
said.
that's a lot of stuff.
But
Yeah.
what are some of those myths that you've discovered over the past 2 years about soccer cards that people might think that are really false?
So I think the big one was first whatever. I think you get that. I think you get that for other sports, but it got really insane with Prism, with World Cup Prism, and people were saying, well, this is the first Prism, and people start overvaluing all these cards. So I remember a Messi base card was going for like almost $2,000 PSA 10, a base
Yep.
Messi
I
PSA 10, two
remember seeing
thousand
those at
dollars,
the shows. That was
right?
insane.
Insane. And I was thinking in my head, like, I can see that sustaining. For some reason, I don't know why I was like, oh, I think that could sustain. I never bought in, but I also was like, I wasn't like, oh, that's weird. But that was one of my biggest mistakes, not understanding, dynamics of supply, demand supply. Another one I thought was I really don't. One of my biggest misses is not trusting my instincts, knowing that, hey, like I should have gone all in on a particular player like Erling Holland. Because I bought a lot of Erling Hollands, but I could have definitely done way more because I was convinced his talents would be shown around the world, and card collectors would be going crazy for him. Those are a few misses. I've definitely got a decent amount of misses. I sold a Erling Holland Sapphire for like $1,200. And those are like $2,000, or they were $2,000 at a time. So
Now with the card show side of things, I know Florida has a few soccer collectors at the shows, but there's not much. What's been the biggest soccer market for you so far?
so as for shows,
At shows, yeah.
man, I think Dallas is number one for me. Um, I don't know, maybe I'm biased because it was my first big show, but whenever I go to Dallas, which has only been two times, it always has been amazing. Just the energy, the collectors are very knowledgeable. I would say like they aren't like just fresh, just looking to pick up a player, but they know what they're talking about, and they have a good, thoughtful. They're very thoughtful when it comes to collecting. As for example, I would say, when people were collecting, Ricardo Pepi is actually one of the biggest upcoming stars that I think collectors are valuing. But they knew about him way, way before all the hype because I mean he played for FC Dallas. But it was just super interesting to see that whole dynamic come around after the hype because like a lot of people in Dallas definitely sold Pepe at the right time.
Now with that hype, I'm not a full on expert with modern soccer, but at least from what things I've seen on Twitter and a few people talking in person, is that usually when they have their first Tops Now card, or is there stuff before that right now with some of these players?
Right. So usually they have a tops now card nowadays, or they'll have like a match attacks, which no one really talks about anymore. But that was like a little bit. They had like a little fizz. But the tops now is a good, interesting take where a lot of, I would say, some collectors are just like, oh, this is the first ever card. Um, this should be their first iconic rookie, so they'll like attach to that. but I don't think people realize the market kind of decides what is the most iconic rookie. So what happens is if you start just, you know, chasing all the tops nows, you might not particularly be in the best position when their tops chrome comes out. But back then, if you're collecting 2 years ago, their tops now, you'd be winning big time because the print runs were like literally minuscule. I mean, Erling Haaland's first tops now was like a pop print run of like 200 or something like that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Now, how is that compared to a sapphire card? Where's the market at right now with those? Is it the sapphire really taking over, or like the Holland low print run for tops now?
So the Erling Holland uh, print run for the tops now is it does decent. Like I think it was like around $10,000. But if you're talking about like Holland's most premier card, it has to be one of his superfractors. One of it. There's so many superfractors nowadays.
There
But
is
yeah, whatever. But I would say maybe I think if it's Sapphire,
like a base sapphire.
not a base Sapphire, but his Sapphire, it's like the pink one. It's like it has a long name. It starts with a P. Or his, top Chrome Bundesliga uh, Superfractor is like the one to get, and those go for like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, the super factors are insane with baseball cards as well. You have a top rookie in that. Good luck buying that one. Those go for
For real.
so much money, especially when you
For
get
real.
those first. You get the first Bowman Chrome autos as a super fractor. I think there was someone brought a Tatis to the Philly show. I wasn't there at that Philly show, but they were trying to get $5 million for it.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That's crazy. So we don't even have like a first $1 million card yet. The Pele recently, Alifa got very close. So I think it's $850,000.
Was
So
that
we're
one of the
still
highest
waiting.
graded ones? What?
Yeah, I think it's a PSA 8. If that's a, I think
Okay, that's the one I saw on there. That's one for 850. That'll
yeah.
break. That'll break a million eventually.
Yeah, we're just waiting. We're just waiting for that one person to change the, to change the market for us.
Is that the best Pele, or is there another type of rookie that he has? I know stickers are kind of a little bit weird back then.
So Pele is really interesting. He has a lot of different stickers and cards that not necessarily from his rookie card because people, there's some there's actually a 57 Pele that most people don't know about. There's even like 59s that are labeled as 58s, but I would say his Alifa is number one. And then I know a lot of people love his Editoria or his it's they call it the Quig goal. It looks like it's his face. It's a portrait with a soccer ball behind it. It's a beautiful card, but yeah, so that's super interesting. But I think the Alifa is probably my favorite. I just think it's just a beautiful card, right? Uh, that's my opinion
Iconic.
on it.
That's what I think of when people say like a Pele rookie. That's the one I get in my head. I didn't even know he had a card earlier than that.
Yeah, there's a 57 one. That's really interesting, but no one knows about it, right? But that's all. It's all about the narrative too when it comes to cards, and I think people fail to recognize that.
The story the community has. I mean, it's like the Hannes Wagner, the 1909 Wagner. You see it reach record breaking numbers. Most people don't realize he's a 1903 card, which is scarcer and it's worth less money.
Interesting. Yeah, it comes down to narratives, right?
Yep. So I find that interesting on the baseball side of things, and it's across the board with all sports. There's always rare cards, and sometimes the rookie cards, like even like the '86 Fleer Jordan. They used to be a junk wax era card, not even worth that much money. His star card used to be worth a lot more money than the normal
Interesting.
one, and now the star card still worth a lot of money, but the '86 Jordan just took off, and it
Okay.
completely spiraled. I mean, he had his first card in '84 star, so technically his third card.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So now back to your soccer PC. So do you collect mostly modern then, or do you collect a little bit vintage as well, kind of mixture, or what are you focusing on right now?
So what I'm focusing on right now, well, my general PC is a lot of like pre-modern. They would call it pre-modern. So it's like in the 2000s stars because I was born in the 1993 era. So I look up to like a lot of like Kaká, obviously Messi, Ronaldo, like Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, all these type of players. And then I also dabble when I can because the problem is with these vintage cards is they're so scarce. I'll try to go far back with like have some Pele's over here. I'm looking for a Diego Maradona, Cruyff, those type of players. Those are like my grails, right? I'm trying to chase, but the problem is there's only like pop 20, you know.
Yeah,
So it's hard. It's hard to deal with. But what I'm focusing a lot right now is trying to see the dynamics with trading in and out of cards, right? So what I mean by that is how do I trade up without giving too much either cash and still making it work, or like how do I trade down and have more liquidity to use that liquid to buy a better card. That's what I've been really focusing on. Um, but other than that, I've been looking for like just short print cards, things that I like. I picked up this Alex Morgan card. It's actually an exquisite. Um, it's like one of her best cards out there. I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah,
like
I
this is
see
a
it right
part
now.
of her. Yeah,
Is
it's a
that taking
part
like
of.
the first RPA? It's like the exquisite rookie
Yep.
autos.
Yeah, yeah. So it's part of her boot, her cleat.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's really sick. So like I got that. I got Pele Auto right here. Like things that I genuinely like because I remember when I first started, it all starts like this, right? We start chasing things that people like. But now when I buy something that people like, it's for my intention is to trade it to get something that I truly like.
Yeah, that's the fun part about the card shows is you just keep wheeling and dealing until you get the cards and you're like, all right, I don't want to trade this, I don't want to sell it, and you just lock it away for a long time and look at it in a few years. At least that's my
100%.
style of things. Where it's like I'll trade up to a card and they're like, okay, I don't think I can get too much more out of this card. I'm gonna put off to the side and then start from scratch all over again from the card shows.
Also, you keep it. You keep it
Yeah,
for yourself. Okay. See, this is the thing for me. I'm like, I trade up, and I'm like, all right, if I can't, I just don't see more that I want to do with it. I'll just go back down. Right. I'll just trade back down.
yeah, I'm the opposite. I'll trade up to like I don't like getting too many cards above, let's say 5,000 or 10,000, because once you get to that extent,
It's
there's a lot
hard.
of rounding and everything like that. So my number I try to go is like 2 to 5K. I'll get one of those type of cards and I'll put it off the side. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lock this away, hold on to this card for a while, and then look back at it in a few years. If I want to move it or try to upgrade it, I can. If not, whatever. I'm content with that card.
Awesome. That's awesome because like yeah, I'm completely opposite. I'm just like all right, let's move on. Let's move this down now.
But it is fun though. You're able to bring all this stuff with you. Where either I go with like a few cards and try to fill out the thing and then start trading those out. It's like two different approaches, but you can still have fun with both.
Both works.
Now, how did you end up getting that Morgan? Did you get that through a trade or same with the Pele? Did you get those through trades or did you buy those straight out? Or how did that
Yeah,
work?
yeah, I'm doing better. I'm trying to do a better job with just trading and having some cash on top when I try to trade up. Like that Alex Morgan, I traded for actually a basketball card. It was a Trey Young Red Select PSA 10. I traded that and put some little cash on it. Made a deal really easy. And the person that actually reached out to me knew that I am obsessed with soccer cards. And I was actually really nervous to pick up this Alex Morgan card because I don't really, I wouldn't say women's soccer is like my forte. Like I just know that Mia Hamm is like the person I just want to collect. She is the goat of all women's soccer. Like I'll take Mia Hamm. I know Alex. Everybody knows Alex Morgan, but man, that type of value for a women's soccer card for Alex Morgan, it makes me kind of jittery because I don't know the market like that. But apparently, it gets me a little clout. So I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe it worked out.
Probably one of the best modern, at least when soccer cards out there. I'd think so, right?
100%. Yeah, that's what people tell me. So I'm like, all right, I trust you.
Because the Ham had a rookie, what was that the Sports Illustrated one, or is
Yep.
it Air Out? Was that in the 90s or was that in the 2000s? I think 90s, right?
90s.
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 I've seen it once at a show. Someone had a PSA one. It wasn't the 10. I know the 10 went for like record number recently, but still, I was like, man,
I don't think we'll never see a 10 because I don't even understand how you could even grade that a 10, but it's all good.
yeah, those perforated cards are interesting. Same with like some of the hand cut stuff from pre-war. Just
Yeah.
it's tough. But hey, whoever got that 10, congrats, because you
Oh
just
yeah, 100%. I ain't mad about
you
that.
got that six-figure payout. So do you want to share a few other cards in your PC?
Yeah, so I this card right here, I think you'll enjoy this. This is actually a crack Golasso Pele, 1965. So what I love about this card is it is one of the most beautiful Pele cards in my opinion. It has a lot of Topps Chrome type of vibe. If you look in the back, you see how it's like kind of reminds me of the LeBron James Topps Chrome type of deal, like the color refractors here.
That's
And then
cool.
I believe this little football thingy is actually from a Topps set. Topps football set,
I
right?
was gonna say it looks like some of the 60s top football cards.
Exactly. And it's a PSA 6, so it's actually the highest grade in the PSA registry. I know the other person, it's a pop 2. I know the other person, he's a whale. So I'm like, hey, let me know when you move it.
Oh, that's an amazing card.
Yeah, so that's been like that card I've been chasing for a while. Ever since I saw it, I was like, man, I don't know the significance behind it, but I just love how it looks.
No, I think it looks really cool. Now, was that like how Topps says O-Pee-Chee for Canada? Like they printed out over there. Was that a Topps owned company, or did they get the license for that design, or how did that work? Because I know Topps did
Man,
some soccer cards in the 70s.
Man, I have no idea, dude. I'll be honest with you. Dude, I should probably do more research on it. But I know the Crack Golasso has a lot of different other cards within this set. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, I actually do not
I need to
know.
write that down. This is kind of interesting on that side.
Yeah, yeah. I'll text it to you. Don't worry.
All
I'll
right, all
text
right.
it.
Because I want to look more into that because I saw there's someone at one of the Florida shows that had a 75 binder and it, I think it was 75. It was like the same exact design as 75 Topps baseball. I was like, I
Oh,
had no idea that Topps produced the soccer cards over in the United Kingdom for a few years, and they're exact identical designs to the baseball. But I didn't know they made a football one like that. If they did, or they just stole the design, or like Topps
or
concealed.
yeah, maybe they stole it from this set. I don't know. We don't know at this
We'll
point.
never know. But that's so cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, I could keep talking about more
Yeah, go ahead.
cards. Yeah, so I got this Weston McKennie gold auto, um, 20 2019, I believe. Yeah, 2019 Topps Chrome. It's my first gold refractor. I I mean, I can see why people go stupid for gold. It just looks a lot better.
They look cool.
You know, got that in California, so that I was really happy about that one. But yeah, man, it's been fun. I feel like the strategy that has been working for me is really just chasing things I really like, you know, but also being aware that, hey, maybe someone likes these type of prospects, maybe you should get that to move into a card you like.
That's definitely a good strategy. So, any final advice for people that are looking to get into the soccer market right now?
I would say is you're so early in the market for soccer cards. I think people underestimate how big of the sport it is. I think the argument's always been like, oh, soccer is the biggest sport in the world. You know, just wait until everybody gets into it. And I still firmly believe it, especially because the World Cup's coming soon. 2026 World Cup with the United States, that's huge. And I would say is if you're really into for adventure, definitely soccer cards is the way to go because there's really no structure right now in soccer cards. It's kind of like, man, you can literally find like Erling Haaland's a really good example. You can find a lot of different varieties of releases in different countries of his rookie card
Hmm.
or sticker. And it's a fun little trip, right? Like there's like a sticker from his Austrian league, or you could find his U20 World Cup, his under 20 World Cup debut for his rookie. So it's a really interesting adventure. If you know, I think basketball has a little bit more structure. You know exactly what's their rookie card and stuff like that. But in soccer, it's a whole entire adventure, man. You really just don't know what you could find if if you really search it.
Now the research side of things is really fun. So, where can people find Sunday League investors?
Yeah, check us out on Instagram. I'm always on there, so if you ever have questions, just DM me. Check out the YouTube channel. A lot of people know us just going to card shows and everything like that. We have a lot of fun, and then we have a TikTok as well. You know, I love the TikTok fam out there, and yeah, I'm always answering DMs and everything like that. So yeah, excited about it.
Hey, thanks, Brian, again for jumping on. And guys, next week on Monday, I'm going to be recording an episode with a cricket collector from Australia. This is going to be a really awesome episode as well. So make sure to check it out.